Hey guys, how's it going? It's Amy here, director of New and Me for Christ, bringing you today's Life Words video. Now our passage today is Genesis chapter 32 and 33, and we pick up after the story that Kwaku brought to us yesterday, the story of brothers divided. Jacob, who wronged his big brother Esau by stealing his inheritance. Jacob ran away. You'll remember that from yesterday. Well, now a few chapters later, we find Jacob running away again, running away from his father-in-law, a man called Laban, and coming back towards Esau. It's a story of reconciliation. It's a story of fear. It's a story of wrestling both with the past and with God. You might want to read the bit that we skipped over between where Kwaku shared yesterday and where I'm sharing today, but life has been difficult for Jacob. Some things have gone really well. Other times he has been tricked. The way that he tricked his father and his brother. Life has had ups and downs, but today we find Jacob coming back towards Esau. We start off in the story with Jacob worried. So as he comes back towards Esau, he sends ahead of him some of his livestock, some of his family, some of his men, in the hope that they will pacify Esau. Here are some gifts, some possessions that Jacob wants to stand behind. These things go on ahead of him and he stays behind, and we have this incredible scene where he wrestles with God through the night, all night, wrestling out questions about his name and his purpose. It's really interesting. God gives Jacob a new name. He says, from now on you won't be Jacob, you'll be Israel. And it's from that we get the term Israelites, God's people. Now God had made his promise to Jacob's grandfather Abraham, but now the promise is repeated. Jacob, out of your family will come my family, the Israelites, God's people. They wrestle on. Jacob is left with some reminders of this wrestle with God. He now walks with a limp after God touched his hip. The new day comes and Jacob continues to progress in his journey towards Esau. He's worried about this encounter. Will Esau still be angry? Will he want revenge for the wrong that Jacob did him? But as Jacob comes along, walking behind his livestock, walking behind his family, walking behind his men, his brother Esau, the one who had been wronged, comes running towards him, not with anger, but with love. He's so delighted to see his brother again. He can't believe the way that Jacob has landed on his feet. Esau has also done well out of the separation. Both men have more than what they need. Jacob tries to offer Esau possessions, trying to make amends for what's happened. Esau doesn't want anything. He just wants a reunion with his brother. The past had to be faced. What do we need to face today? What might we want to lean further into in this story? Well, are there people that you've wronged you need to seek forgiveness for? Are there people that have wronged you that you need their offers of forgiveness in? Where are you wrestling with God? See, Jacob wrestled with God over the past, over his present. He took his frustrations, his questions, his doubts to God, who met him in the wrestle. What do you need to wrestle through with God? What are your questions? What are your doubts? Because when Jacob wrestled with God, what came out of it? Blessings, a new purpose, a new name, a new identity. What are you holding back from bringing to God? Because he's more than happy to wrestle it through with you. But how are we going to move forward? Because Jacob was fearful about facing the past. But when he came back to his brother, there was reunion, there was reconciliation, there was a moving forward together. He had to face his past, his mistakes, in order to move forward with his life. Scripture is full of people at war with each other, siblings, rivalries, jealousy. We're going to see more of that next week as it continues with Jacob's children. Who are you wrestling with? Who are you comparing yourself with? Who are you not seeing the beauty in your own story because you're so busy looking at everybody else's situation? Where does our focus need to be on today? What do we have to move forward from? What do we have to reconcile ourselves to? What do we need to wrestle through with God? Read the chapters for yourself. Drop your questions below. Join Kwaku and I on Instagram on Friday at 4 p.m. as we take some of these conversations further, as we answer some of your questions. Guys, have a great rest of the day. We'll see you again soon for the next part of Life Words. Bye now.